Hi everybody, Rattles and Twice back here for yet another wonderful zombies video. Today, I want to clear up the blood vials in Blood of the Dead and discuss the comic inconsistency that correlates from it. I asked Jason and Craig about this inconsistency in the basement of the house and the lab of Mob of the Dead, but I will get into that later in the video. First, to catch you up, Primus is traveling to Mob of the Dead during Mob of the Dead's Purgatory mode in the teaser we saw of Blood of the Dead. This is different than how the Mob of the Dead lab appeared inside the comics. It was not in Purgatory mode when the transit crew arrived. Next, the blood vials on Richtofen are clearly visible, but appear empty on first inspection of the Blood of the Dead teaser. This has caused many to believe that this is taking place after Revelations. It would fit because Dr. Monty dumping Primus in an endless cycle outside the universe in Purgatory would remove any problems of them. Lastly, there is a leading idea that Blood of the Dead takes place between Zet and Gorod because at the end of the Easter egg in Zetsubou no Shima, we know our characters travel to Mob of the Dead. Dempsey confirms this in two Revelation quotes.
Wonder why Richtofen's still so keen on staying quiet about Alcatraz. It's not like he hasn't bragged about weirder things he's done.
Now that we are caught up, let's get proof that can point to a correct theory. First, I'd like to bring your attention to an old image when Zetsubou no Shima first launched. When completing the Easter egg, the blood vials appeared empty. People were very excited on social media and began theorizing why they used the blood vials during their portal adventure. Then players noticed all the characters had unmarked blood vials now, besides Richtofen. Upon further inspection, the blood vials were full, but they looked transparent. When you purposely put the blood vials in the correct light, it revealed they were full and colored correctly. This example is a possible explanation for why Blood of the Dead's vials look transparent. When I traveled to Black Ops 4's reveal event, I discussed with Jason Blundell and Craig Houston their use of in-engine cutscenes. They use the in-engine cutscenes as a precaution to avoid the endings being ripped from the files like Origins was in the past. Black Ops 4 is indeed all in-engine cutscenes. The lighting issue with the blood vials do hold up. Next, if we zoom in on Richtofen's blood vial, we see there is a line or meniscus showing the liquid level in the vial. Some have suggested that there is another liquid inside the vials, but Mr. Raffle Waffles confirmed this in his latest video where Jason said on record, there is blood in the vials.
I asked him that and I said, do you want to be on record about this as well? And he responded in the most Jason way possible. He's always so kind of succinct with his responses to these sorts of questions because, I mean, you can see in the lightning round I did with him, he's really hesitant to give solid answers about things. That's just the way that Treyarch always have been, and it makes complete sense. I'm not blaming the guy for anything like that, but that's exactly what I expect. And so, the only response I got was as follows. Yes, he has blood in the vials. That's literally as much as he would say. Anything else that I asked, he'd just be like, That's just Jason. That's the way the guy is.
Another point that hasn't been discussed much is the lack of the other characters' possession of the blood vials. As you can see, Takio and Dempsey have been positioned in a way that would conceal their blood vials, but Nikolai should be showing his. If Richtofen's is that obvious, it stands to reason that we would see at least part of Nikolai's blood vials hanging past his bag. The final discussion I want to have for this video is about the comic inconsistencies. At the end of Call of Duty Zombies comic, we see the transit crew arrive in the house basement like we saw at the beginning of Revelations. When they see Richtofen, he tells them to be quiet because the children are sleeping upstairs. Richtofen then continues his journey in picking up the blood vials. He picks up the blood vials from the transit crew from the empty earth. Then he travels to normal Alcatraz to pick up 4 more vials. He has a total of 8 when he travels back in time to Origins to give himself 2. Then he returns to the transit crew with 6 blood vials in the same basement he left them. Notice, Richtofen still has his 2 blood vials on his person. Upon returning to the basement, suddenly there are cryo chambers by the transit crew where they are kept for the future. We believe the Primus crew arrives to pick up their blood vials from Richtofen in the comics. Richtofen isn't short any blood vials because he gave himself those 2 back at Origins. I know it seems wonky, but that's how paradoxes work. Richtofen always has his 2 blood vials. Now that I've explained the situation, we can look at the issue. On the timeline it says that Richtofen has a lab built under Alcatraz to store the Victus crew until they are needed next. On screen I'll put the full quote, but why are there inconsistencies between where the characters are, what universe the lab is being developed, and what versions are we talking about? The big takeaway is the comics may not be what happened on the timeline, despite many events matching up. There is information we do not have that I believe we will find out in Blood of the Dead. Remember how I told you I asked Jason and Craig about this earlier in the video? Well, they told me it was not a mistake and gave me an eyebrow raise because we had just seen the Blood of the Dead trailer tease. The map should be an explanation for the blood vials, the gaps in the comics, a conclusion of sorts for the premise story, but potentially the telling of a journey we couldn't have predicted. Our characters could travel for years in between those few seconds we experience in Zetsubou no Shima. Craig Hewson continues to stress the Dr. Monty quote that reads, "The order in which you experience events is not necessarily the order in which they happened." In conclusion, Blood of the Dead is most likely to take place between Zetsubou no Shima and Gorod Krovi. But remember that Treyarch can completely change the game by the time release comes. They may decide to really change things up in the next few months. There is much more to discuss about this storyline and the implications of Blood of the Dead, but I want to get to that in different videos. Here, I just want to give you the facts that we have so far to prove that Blood of the Dead is in fact between Zetsubou no Shima and Gorod Krovi. But remember, Treyarch are a bunch of tricksters. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a rating and subscribe for all your Call of Duty Zombies content. It's going to be a wonderful year, and I'd love to have you come along for the ride. If you want to get involved with our community, I have a Discord server where you can talk theories or videos with other viewers. The link is in the description, and I made it so it wouldn't time out. The link should always work. I'm Ronaldson27. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.